What's up, man?
Hey, how you doing? There we go. I think I got it.
Cool.
Something like that. Ugh, I've never used Zoom, man, so kind of.
Yeah, after everything. Give me 1 minute.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, if it looks crazy, I'm sorry. I'm in like the process of moving from like one area to another area, so I'm just like,
Hey, bro, I feel you. I last night I had my desk in a whole nother position, and I was like, dude, I gotta like get a better background than my junky room and my 3D printer in the background. I
yeah.
was like, I need to flip it or something. So
I mean,
yeah, I
it's a
feel you.
lot better than tactical curtains, man. I mean, just
Hey, man, it's there. It's there. That's all that matters. You ain't staring at your neighbors out of them, so that's all that matters.
yeah, be over here like,
Right? Just peeking out every once in a while, making sure they're staying in line.
hey, we're doing it again. I mean, happy to have you. I mean, I'm trying to get more serious about the. Lord, I'm tired. You got to forgive me. I
Hey, bro,
work
I feel you.
like dude, I get off of work at like 12:30. I got to make an hour-long drive. And then, of course, everything's happening on like, what is it, daylight savings time? Where we're having an hour stripped away. So it's like,
Dude,
I'm
that fucked
here.
me up.
Oh, God.
That fucked me up.
It's like, it's getting old. I mean, okay, I can appreciate farmers and everything, but I'm not a fucking farmer. It's like, look, here, let them go do what they got to do.
Yeah, let
You
them be
know?
on their own time. They don't.
Right.
We don't need to be on the same time. We can figure that out at some point. You know.
Yeah, yeah. Like I appreciate the corn and the wheat and everything else, but yeah,
It's 2025. We don't need daylight savings times. This old. Get rid of it.
basically. I mean, if we could get like a whole hour back or whatever, I mean, I wouldn't hate that. I could get down with that, but
Yeah.
taxes don't work that way.
Yeah. Right. Right. That'd be great, man, if it did.
God, no, it's like a daylight savings time stimulus check.
Man, that'd be awesome. Get some Trump bucks or Biden bucks, whatever they called them. Uh,
yeah, I hope they wouldn't make Biden money or whatever. But dude, I don't know. These are weird times.
oh, dude, yeah, it's crazy. I can't figure out. There we go. I hate wearing this thing so much, believe it or not.
Yeah, I can understand because you got like a people are crazy. I even thought about doing something like that a long time ago, but by then I'd already shown my face, and it was like, everybody knows Peter Parker now or Miles Morales or
Yeah,
whoever.
yeah. It's like, hey, it's too late. It is what it is. Yeah, man. I've been tempted just to rip it off and be like, screw it, but I don't know. I've gotten some crazy messages before, so I'm sure you know. I'm sure you know. Some people are wild, man. Some people have no filter, just don't care. It's like, all right, well, okay.
Yeah. I mean, it's crazy, man. It's like I get it being black in the 2A space. It's weird. So it's like it's I could post something, right? And I
Mm-hmm.
always try and stray away from this. Not saying that this is my whole mentality, but like I could post something that doesn't say the stereotypical stuff that you'd expect on the internet from random people in general, like kill
Mm-hmm.
white guy. It doesn't. I'm not posting anything like that. I
Yeah.
post something like uh good example is I made a post on my Facebook page trying to find um black veterans, black police officers, so on and so forth, because you can see a whole vast array of veterans of other colors, but you rarely see, and I could be wrong, I hope I am, but you rarely see like a lot of black veterans.
Mm-hmm.
So at first it was getting traction because me and my dumb ass, I decided to boost it. Um, it was gaining traction. Then all of a sudden, certain people, and it wasn't just white people, it was like black people that were like, uh, we've already got that. This is racist. You need to take this down. Go educate yourself. What about the crime numbers? And it's
Come on, man. It's like
yeah,
it's not about that. It's not about that.
right. I mean, 2A is for everybody, and
Exactly.
yeah, the only way to even appreciate it and actually learn more about the Second Amendment is to like go forth and disperse yourself into those areas. But internet makes
Dude,
people have track minds.
I don't mean to rant, but I cannot stand people who gatekeep the 2A community. Like, it is the worst thing possible. Like, everybody in the world should have the freedom, well, especially America, should have the freedom to go purchase a firearm, buy a
Mm-hmm.
firearm, and learn about the Second Amendment and learn about these communities, not be pushed out of these communities because of color, religious beliefs, background, whatever, but like it always comes to that. It always comes to, oh, well, you do something a little different, so I'm not going to associate with you. I mean, I've seen it so much and just on Instagram. I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy the amount of like gatekeeping that there is in the 2A community to where like, oh, well, you don't like this stuff or you're running something cheaper, so I don't want to associate with you. It's just crazy, man. It's like
Yeah,
we're all one. We're all one big community. We're fighting the same fight. We have all the same all the same stuff at our disposal. We all can get the same equipment. I mean, most of us, it is what it is, but like don't sit there and just shit on somebody because they're paying for cheaper shit or they have different religious beliefs or they come from a different background or they don't know as much either. I see a lot of that, just people just getting shit on because they just don't know as much. And it's just like, hey, man, they're new. We got to bring these people in and embrace them and show them what this community is about. Like the 2A community can be super loving, it can be super supportive, but like it's that gatekeeping that blocks all that from us or blocks all that, a lot of the times from just new people trying to get in. It turns them off really from wanting to even be in the community big time. But sorry.
I mean, honestly, I wouldn't even consider that a rant. I think at the core of things, because we're living in I guess, an era, if you want to call it that, of people having to select sides.
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
Democrat, Republican, you're left or right, but there's like the mentality of the people that have been in the core of something for a long time, or they've been involved in something for a long time. And to use a comic book example, it's like when they made a black Spider-Man, Miles
Mm-hmm.
Morales. Right? Peter Parker was still there, and they already
Mm-hmm.
had like the whole different multiverse thing going on. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
But then it became like this whole thing of, okay, now we need Latino Spider-Man. Now we need Inuit Spider-Man. And like, okay, cool, but the difference is Peter Parker has still got his origin story.
Exactly.
Miles Morales he's got his own unique origin story.
Miles Morales has been around forever. Like
Right.
that's
But
the thing. Like people are tripping about that. It's like, hey, he's already been in the multiverse for years. You can't
yeah,
just be like, oh well, now we need a Latino Spider-Man. We need that. Like, come on, man, come on. Like
I
we
mean, and
we got what we got.
yeah, and don't get me wrong. Eventually, like I think it was the second Spider Verse movie. They did have
Mm-hmm.
like Spider Man, Spider Women, so on and so
That's
forth,
right. Yeah, yeah, yeah. They did. That was a
which
good
is cool.
movie.
But dude, I can't wait on the third. Well, I spoiled it. Yeah, there's gonna be a third one.
Oh
Spoiler.
man, I didn't even know that. This is gonna be awesome. My kid's gonna love. She loves the multiverse. She likes Miles Morales Spider Man better than the movies. Like,
Mm-hmm.
well, I guess she just likes the cartoons. She likes the cartoons better than the movies. She don't pay attention to the movies at all. I can't get her to watch them ever. She's like, it's not a cartoon. I don't want to see it.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, hey, what you gonna do, man?
No, yeah.
But I think ultimately what I'm saying is like I get that people want to have their own version of something,
Yeah.
but like you said, Miles Morales has been there for a long time. Like they've had multiple versions of the Hulk. They've had
Mm-hmm.
best one I can give you is Black Panther.
Yeah.
Nobody gave a damn about the OG Black Panther for the longest time until they came out with the movie. Now all of a sudden, everybody's shooting up Wakanda forever, and they're
Yeah.
buying brand new helmets and everything. But then you show them the OG Black Panther, where he's not all souped up and dripped out, and they're like, "What
Hmm.
the hell is that?"
Yeah. What is that? That don't make sense. That's not Black Panther.
Yeah, it's not Black.
Yeah.
No, no, this is Black Panther. Like, just you're gatekeep. It's like you're gatekeeping from the outside without really knowing what you're getting in. Without knowing
Yeah.
anything you're trying to gatekeep, which
Yeah.
it gets old. And the people that have been doing this for a long time are actually welcoming and everything.
Hmm.
Um, it paints them in a bad light because unfortunately everybody gets lumped into the same category. So like you could be at a good range or something, and you could frequent there a whole lot. But the minute one person does something wrong, and one of the newbies there gets the cold shoulder or whatever, it's not uh, Tom sucks because he doesn't want to teach somebody how to fire or shoot firearms. It's like Blue Ridge Mountain Range sucks because everybody is
Yep.
an asshole. It
It
just
categorizes everything. Yeah. Just one lump. Oh, they all suck.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
and it's old. So I mean, your sentiment isn't really just a rant. It's shared by a lot more people. Trust me.
Yeah. I just, man, I've just seen it too much, especially in the 2A community. I just want, like, we need to be pulling these people in and embracing them and helping them. That's what we need to be doing. You know, uh, we have a lot of, I mean, big name YouTubers, even like Demo Ranch quitting right now. To me, he was a big person that got newer people into shooting. Like, I feel like his videos were a lot more towards people that were first getting into it, not people that were like diving into it for years and been doing it, but like they're fun. They were more happy. They were more based around, oh, what if, and experimental stuff. So it was more easier to watch, more easier to get into. And with him stepping down too, it's like, man, you know,
Yeah,
we got to step up as a community and really start trying to pull these people in because there's a lot of people that don't know nothing. They want guns, but they're scared. They're afraid, which they shouldn't
yeah,
be. But it is what it is. Some people have had terrible experiences with
yeah.
firearms.
And also, it's like so the average person doesn't know where to start because you may still, even though there's, I guess, confirmed constitutional carry now,
Hmm.
supposedly, but nonetheless, like
You still have
me,
state laws.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. That's what I was gonna say. You may need to get a certain carrying permit or whatever. You may have to have it. The states are gonna do what they're gonna do. But if you don't know where to begin, like
Hmm.
you don't know exactly what governmental building you need to go to, what paperwork you need, where to get your fingerprints done, people are going to be lost. And not
Yeah.
just that, but if you look at, like, say for example, New York, how they were actually blocking people that needed firearms,
Hmm.
victims of the domestic violence or just
Yep.
stalkers or whatever. By the time they decided to clear them and say, okay, you can go ahead and get your permit, they're not here anymore. So it's like you said, people need them, and if anything, just getting it isn't good enough. They're going to need the training. They're going to need the community,
Exactly.
the just support.
Hmm. They're
So
gonna need to get ammo, stack up on some ammo for sure. At
yeah,
least 500 to start out. Go to the range, shoot all that, get comfortable. I mean, it's a process more than just buying your first firearm. You need to make sure you have the proper holster, the proper gear with you, ear protection, eye protection, ammo, lube, all the gun lube depends on.
yeah,
So uh all the essentials, at least the
yeah,
basics to get in there. And a lot of people won't know that. They'll just be like, oh, I got a gun. Let me go out to the range and shoot it. They go out there, blow their eardrums out, kind of like, okay, you know, go out
yeah,
there, only bring 100 rounds, 50-round box. And they're like, man, I really wanted to shoot a little bit more. And they're not really learning much off of, yeah, I know you've done that before. I've done that a million times. Bring one box out and be like, fuck, I meant to
yeah.
bring like 12 of these. Yeah, goes like 5 seconds.
I think the biggest problem is like whenever you got to reload all the magazines and
Oh,
everything,
bro.
you, 30 rounds goes in, depending on how you're shooting, but it'll go in of like a minute or two or a couple of minutes, and you're
Dude,
like,
Takes like 10 minutes to reload the mag. Just sit there and okay.
Yeah, then you got that old dude that's been at the range for years looking at you from giving a side eye like weak
Yeah.
ass fingers.
Weak ass bitch. Look at you trying to push
Yeah,
that 9 mil in there. Can't even get it. uh,
what is it? You got a little helper? You just
yeah. Oh wow. Back in my day, we didn't have helpers. We didn't have that shit. Yeah. No, man, I'll go to these I'll go to my range and we have competitions and these 60, 70-year-old men, they dust my ass, bro. Like they are so smooth. And like I learned so much from them because they're not running, they're not like hauling ass across the course. They're not doing anything crazy. They're just so slick and so smooth with their movements and they've learned them so well. They dust the shit out of everybody because they're like slow as fast, smooth as fast. So they're with it, man. It's crazy. It's cool learning from them though, man, because that's a whole generation of they've just been doing this for years, decades now. So it's like they've got so much knowledge. It's awesome. Those are the
yeah,
guys I love to hang out or I like to go to the range and meet up with, man. I don't get too much, but I have to go to the range with all my special friends. And we just mag dump and stuff. So, but man, you were
that's
talking about the P320s about having the M18s and stuff.
okay.
You're like, oh,
So funny story, right? Way before it even got this serious, like when there was the first couple of negligent discharges that you heard about,
mm-hmm.
I was just like looking at it, taking note. Then I went onto the Strike Industries Instagram page, and they had I don't even remember what they were advertising. I just remember looking at this handgun, and I'm like, that is sexy as hell. And it was the P320 Spectre Comp. You know, it's
Mm-hmm.
blacked out, got the gold trimmings and everything.
Oh
And
yeah, it's pretty.
yeah, so I was like, I want that, but I don't want to spend a lot of money. How can I get it without, spending, I think it MSRP at like maybe the 1,300, 1,500, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So here I am. I'm trying to put together this janky list of like, first starting off with getting the heart of the gun, which is the FCU. I got the grips from I think it was Gray Man. I think that's where I got the grips from. But then I just needed the slide assembly, and I didn't want to like put everything together. I wanted that exact Spectre comp slide. So that was about $600, $700. So I said, okay, cool. This is as far as I can go right now. But then it's like the big man was looking down and he said, "Oh, that's cute. You want to build a P320? Let me show you something." And then everybody started getting injured and everything. And like you're looking at videos, like I saw this one video of this police officer. He shot himself. Well, the gun shot. This is
Yeah.
sounding saying out loud, but the gun shot him.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Guns don't shoot people though, except
yeah.
if they're SIG. Except if they're P320s.
But that's crazy. And I hate to be dumping on Sig because like there's still
Yeah.
some pretty firearms that I'm looking at, man. I may go back and get a 365. I
Dude, the
really want to get
365 is solid. The
that,
365 is one of the top, I think, one of the top concealed carry pistols, like small frame concealed carry pistols. I love it.
which is weird because like it's kind of the same platform. It's got a firing control unit. It's doing the same thing that the 320 does. It's just like you said, compact. So it's
Mm-hmm.
weird that the issues aren't happening with that, but nonetheless, I just remember dude was in a stretcher on the video, and they were his coworkers or the other police officers were freaking out. They're like, "What shot him? Are you sure you hit? Who shot you?" And the guy's like, "I shot myself." So then, sounds weird, but
Yeah,
so
it does.
he's on the stretcher, and then they go to get his firearm. They pull it out, and you can hear the disappointment in his partner's voice. He's like, "It's P320." But if you read the silent parts out loud, it was goddamn P320.
Yeah. Yeah, dude. That was a sign. That was a sign. Hey, don't finish this
Yeah,
build and go to the range with it.
yeah. I mean, I'm done. and it's a nice looking gun too. But
It
if I
is.
do finish it, it'll probably just be a display piece because I just don't trust it, you know.
Yeah.
And
Man, I feel that. It's hard, especially like something you want to carry. Like, man, that's where it gets sketchy. Especially if you appendix carry or anything
oh
like
god,
that. Appendix carry, even on the hip, man, it's not gonna end up good. You got way
yeah,
too many major arteries in your leg and things like that. It takes 2-3 minutes for you to bleed out. Hit your femoral down there. So
yeah.
yeah, no, that's not the move, man. It's you gotta have something reliable for sure, not something that has been blowing up.
Well, the crazy thing about what they're doing right now is the fact that they put out this statement. They were basically trying to blame all the negative press on anti-gunners and everything, which a majority of these lawsuits are coming from police officers who have been shot by their own firearm
Mm,
in the line of duty.
yeah.
So
And
to
not just that,
even
what you sent me, sorry not to cut you off. What you sent me was all the freaking Army, Air Force, Marines, all of them having issues with negligent discharge too. Like that's crazy. It's crazy that
yeah,
it was even pushed into our military and it was still having those massive issues.
yeah, and those are like the M17, M18 platforms of the 320, but even still, it's like it's a different platform that's having similar issues.
Mm-hmm.
And like you said, it's with our military. I mean, God forbid they're out on an operation and they're just doing basic uh traversing terrain, and then all of a sudden in the middle of nowhere, somebody gets shot by their own firearm. Now you got to figure out a way to get them out, and then you're down, you know, down somebody in your unit and all this
Mm-hmm.
other stuff. And it
Creates a
wasn't even
whole mess of
something.
problems.
Yeah, I don't know.
Logistically, for sure.
Yeah, but I don't know. I mean, I don't know why they didn't talk with. I don't know why they didn't have HR and their social reps or the PR actually sit down and have a conversation before putting out that whole statement, because now it looks
Yeah.
like they're trying to shovel the blame and say, oh, it's not our fault, and multiple people. It doesn't matter if they're even influencers or whatever. But like you said, it's ranged from the military, it's ranged from the police, and it's ranged from the common everyday firearm owner who's gotten that stuff. So at this
Yeah.
point, it's like the sandwich is in your lap, or it's in front of you right now. What are you gonna do about it? Because clearly this is your shit sandwich.
Yeah.
So
I mean, and I just saw that statement this morning, but like, look, legitly is blaming it. It says the allegation against the P320 are nothing more than individuals seeking to profit or avoid personal responsibility.
yep,
That is that is a bold fucking claim. That is a bold claim.
yeah,
That is wild.
that's a death knell if you ask me. Like when the ATF was trying to do a bunch of stuff as far as SBRs, and
Yeah.
Q had the honey badger, it'd been out for years. Q wasn't like, well, it's up to you. You got to figure it out. Q said, send us our product back. We will modify it for you, and then send it back to you. So it's not considered a. I think they try to classify it as like an assault rifle or something, because
Yeah.
it seemed, if I remember right, but it was something stupid. But
That
nonetheless,
was a while back.
right. But they took accountability for it, even though they were no longer accountable for it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Kinetic is another one. Kinetic was having issues with I think it was the MC9. I think it
I
was,
believe so.
yeah, it
One
was
of
their
them.
compact. It was a compact Mete version,
Yeah.
and Kinetic could easily said, "Well, you know what? You bought the gun. You knew what you're getting into." But no, they're like, "Hey, look, we're looking into the issues right now. We might have narrowed it down. Either way, let us know. We'll take care of it."
Mm-hmm.
That's what a firearm company does. It's not like this is a firearm from about 20 years ago or whatever. This is like a current modern firearm.
Yeah.
So
Why
there's
are
no
we having these issues?
right.
Right. I've had a Springfield. I want to say it was an XD. So I had a Springfield XD. It was a 40 cal, and
Mhm.
Oh man, this had to be about 10 years ago. I was in a HEB parking lot in the middle of town.
I miss Texas.
And I picked up my pistol because when I drive, I keep my pistol in my door. It's just easily accessible. When I get out of my vehicle, I put it in my center console, lock it up, stuff like that. Well, I went to move it from my center console. Hand was not even on the trigger whatsoever. On the grip completely, not even close to the trigger. Was moving it over, and as I was moving it over, it just randomly shot. Shot a 40 cal out, shot straight through my door, and I had a buddy that he had just. It was weird. He had just pulled up. He had just pulled up and was walking up to my truck. He had saw me. Was walking up to my truck right when I was moving it, and it just bam did that. Come to find out, I ended up sending it back to Springfield. They had a malfunction with their firing pin, but they took care of it. They sent it back to me, and it was perfectly fine. I had no issues after that. They put it out, said, "Hey, we messed up. This is our fault. Send it back. We'll fix it." And they said, "No cost." I mean, that's how it should be, especially with
Yeah,
something that is a firearm that could
yeah,
cost someone their life if it malfunctions, or cost someone their life if it doesn't function properly when you need it to.
yeah. And
But yeah,
that really starts to raise red flags to somebody's quality because
yeah,
if you're having simple malfunctions and you don't want to take care of it, or if there's anything wrong with it in general, the next time you come out with a new platform, do you honestly think that people are going to be willing to buy it?
yeah. What
Because
is their QC doing now? Like, what's their QC doing on the new platforms that are coming out? What's their engineers doing to mitigate that issue? Like, that's what they should be focusing on, not putting posts out on social media shitting on their customer base. They need to say, hey, we'll get our engineers, get our QC, let's look into this issue and let's fix this issue instead of let's blame it on people just not that probably what over 100 200 people now having issues with this, probably more, but
yeah,
uh, they're all wrong and we're right. I don't know, it just seems weird to me.
yeah. Honestly, I'm just waiting on the fallout, and I'm gonna because I mean I know there's been lawsuits from actual anti 2A groups. I think
Yeah,
they tried to come after Glock again. I think some might have won some of the cases. I don't know, but I get that aspect of everything. But as far as like you said, shitting on the customer base, that's not a good look.
no,
That's
no, no, no. No.
but
Yeah, I understand the anti-gun bullshit that's happening, and I get that. But like, man, I don't know. That statement was a little rough. It was a little
shit,
rough.
like sandpaper, toilet paper rub. That's what that's getting.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know about that one, man. I don't know if I'd back that statement there. That's ugh.
Delete, delete.
Yeah, yeah. Let's go ahead and mass delete that one. Maybe fire the social media team over that. I don't know. It's
so
wild.
so speaking of quality, man, I was looking at Bolo Defense, right?
Hmm.
And that V1 carrier,
Yes.
and plus those t-shirts too. Those t-shirts pretty badass. The live,
Yeah,
laugh,
they're cool.
fire. But I really wish I would have did a little bit more in-depth searching, if you will, because like the last plate carrier I got, they had it at a deep discount. It was like I think
Yeah.
$200 or $300, and it was like
Hmm.
$140. Um, I don't feel confident about it. The shoulder straps feel like it's cardboardium or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
Yeah, I know what you mean. They're
yeah,
rough and they dig in. And when you have plates in and any kind of weight, it pulls down on them. The best way I've found to mitigate that is actually having pads, softer pads on your shoulders. Uh, this one behind me is a Faro concept. Now, it's a lot pricier than a Bolo, but I will
mhm.
say now, before I even start talking about Bolo Defense, I am like an official ambassador for them and stuff, so I will disclose that. Um, but I really do like their plate carriers, and they're a Texas company, so of course I gotta, I love that obviously, but their V1 plate carrier, I did, and I let them know I did find some issues with it. Now I have one of the first 500 of those, so they've upgraded them a little bit throughout, and they're actually coming out with a V2, which I don't have yet, but I will be getting, and it's like it looks really good. It looks really cool. But as far as their V1, it's comfortable. It's not bad at all. What I like about it is the QD. The sides of it you can just like rip straight off, pop it off. The whole rig just pops apart. It all slides apart. Super super easy to pull off if you ever need to. The shoulder straps, they have pads on them. It's
Mhm.
really not bad. Now their V2 plate carrier, they did tell me they completely shit all over their first one. Like their V2 is where it's at. So they said their V2 is like it. So the new one that's coming out, it's gonna be. I think they posted a picture of it not too long ago, but it's gonna be pretty nice. The V1, it's solid, and for the price, it's solid. I like it. There are a few issues that I saw on it. Like I said, I have the first one of the first 500. There was single stitching, which to me, I don't like single stitching. I prefer double
Yeah.
stitching. Obviously, if it's a plate carrier, I like to be able to drag somebody by that thing if I need to.
Yep.
Um, I did. I am coming out with a review video on it soon on YouTube. I'm about to start YouTube. I haven't done that yet. I've been very picky about how I do stuff. Um, but I am about to put a review out. We went ahead and filmed it and everything, and I mean, I have my buddy dragging me across the ground with that thing. I was doing all kinds of stupid stuff and it, just testing it out, making sure it worked. Just got mud all over the back of it now. So, but dude, it's pretty tough. I will say that it's tough. I'm a very I don't know how to put this. I'm very rough on my gear. I will test the living shit out of it. If it breaks when I'm using it, then I just don't need it. Like I'll
Yep.
I'll get something better. You know what I mean? It's like, well, I know this isn't good, so I have an obsession with testing stuff so bad, and I don't ever video it. I just do it just because I'm like I think that's where my autism is. So I just focus in on that. And I'm like, all right, let's see if I can destroy this. So, but no, man, back on the plate carrier. Sorry, all over the
No,
place. But
it's good to hear that because I can trust somebody's opinion about this dirty, banged up plate carrier versus like this brand new, pristine plate carrier. It's
yeah,
good. Like, okay, yes,
yeah,
it's
yeah,
body
yeah,
the plastic, but what you
yeah.
do?
I've been rolling on the ground, sliding through mud. We did. I didn't film it, but I didn't film it yet. But we were gonna go to the range. I was gonna get my buddy to just run up and just kick the shit out of me and see. I don't know what that would test, but figure it out. See how durable it is to a kick.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, we've been it's pretty solid, dude. I've put it through the ringer and I throw it in my I don't have it hanging up because I oh man, I've been to the range 2 weekends. I haven't been to the range this year. So I've been going to the range every dang weekend almost. So I just keep my gear packed up at this point. So it just stays in my bag in the back of my truck, thrown around, tossed around, and I want to test it out, man. I want to see how durable, how much I can actually beat this thing up. And I've had it for about a year. So I mean,
Mhm.
honestly, I think they're priced at 80 something dollars. For $80, I know I'm an ambassador and stuff for them. I'm not trying to chill out or anything, but really, it's not that bad. It's not bad for $80 for a plate carrier. You're getting pretty decent quality out of it. And then their V2, and they're coming out with some other products. I don't know if I'm supposed to talk about it, but I won't just in case. Yeah, I'll just cut that out. But yeah, they're coming out with some new stuff too, man, and I am like absolutely pumped because it's gonna be sick. We're also gonna be going up and meeting up with them in April 5th, I believe. I'm gonna be going out to Austin and meeting up with them guys. So do some content with them and check their stuff out. So They're a good group of guys, though, man. They're solid. I've talked to them. I mean, they're about their business. They're serious. They're serious about what they do. So I absolutely love that about them.
Yeah, that's what's up there. Yeah, and definitely do get as much content as you can because um, one thing I've learned about trying to get your YouTube going or like just
Hmm.
getting anything going is like you gotta if being a people person or like questioning whether or not you can film something is something that holds you back, you got to get out that zone.
Dude, that's you're 100% right. So I am one of the most introvert. I'm a very introverted person. It's weird because I'm like to do social media, but I'm like a extroverted introvert, something like
I,
that. So I just don't I don't know, it's weird for me to be like get on camera and then I'm watching myself. I'm like, you're a fucking idiot. Like what the fuck? Like what the fuck are you doing? So I've had to get myself out of that. Like get myself like I don't care anymore. It's whatever. It is what it is. Like if people think I'm stupid, it is what it is. If people think I'm funny, hell yeah, that's great. If people think, learn something from me, that's even better. But I'm just gonna do it. At this point, it's like, man, just throw it out there. Something.
yeah, and I get it because I'm the same way too. It's like it's weird. It's like when I'm around people, I'm like, yeah, and then when I go
Yeah.
home, like, oh god, gotta go to sleep.
Yeah, I can feed off. Yeah, exactly, exactly. I can feed off that energy, man, but I can't. I'm
Yeah,
not always the one to like start that energy when I'm by myself. I'm just like, I'm
yeah,
just a very laid back, calm person most of the time. So, me to be all
yeah.
hyped up and it's weird.
And I gotta, since I brought this out, I gotta put a disclaimer out. This is not mine. This is my daughter's.
Oh yeah, uh-huh. Bro, I got fucking Batman shit all over my walls. I can't say nothing. That ain't
Hey,
nothing. I mean, I have a full size Darth Vader lightsaber over there, so
that dude, you got to be a big kid, especially like when you're a kid, you're looking at all this stuff you couldn't afford, and now you're an adult. You're
oh,
losing,
that's the
got money.
worst.
Yeah, I mean, dude, it's like, let me see, because
I don't
Boba
even want
Fett,
to talk about how much I paid for that damn lightsaber, man. That was not okay. That was not
it's a
okay. I could have bought a
lightsaber.
gun.
Yeah, that sounds about right. But I mean, I like Boba Fett. He's my favorite Star Wars
Dude,
character.
yeah. See, that's
Collect
dope as
copies and
hell.
everything.
Yeah. Boba's the OG though, man. Boba's the OG. I love
Yeah,
Boba. Everybody all freaks out about Mando. It's like, bro, Boba's been here forever, man. Like
yeah,
Boba's the one. Mando's cool. Yeah, but Boba.
yeah. I mean, if they would have had like OG Legends Boba Fett in
Oh,
the Disney
dude.
universe, dude.
Did you watch any of the series, the Boba series?
So I watched season one, um, and I was hyped about it because I mean, like I said, Bo was my dude. But
Yeah.
there were some episodes where it was like, why are we doing this? Did you really need to do this? Then the guy doing a little spinny thing with the gun and shooting, like, really? What was that?
Some of it was, yeah, a little excessive.
Uh,
Yeah.
but even the actor was like, yeah, this dude needs to be a little bit more serious. This isn't the Boba Fett that I want to portray. I want to portray the OG Boba Fett. We got to do something better.
He was a little more like little too like I feel like too laid back for Boba
Yeah,
Fett.
yeah.
Yeah. He
They
wasn't as I'll fucking kill you. Like, you
yeah,
know?
they almost made him a joke too because the one scene that always sticks out to me was when he was I think it's like going into the governor's mansion or whatever, and then the robot in the kitchen saw him and he picked the robot up and he's like, "Do you know who I am? I'm Boba Fett." It's like, why does a kitchen robot need to know who you are? I mean,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, some of those scenes were just kind of like, they didn't make him as hard of a character as he should have been, I felt. Like, yeah, that
yeah.
definitely.
But when he was with the Tuscan Raiders, I mean, yeah,
That was
that was
Boba Fett.
fun.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. That was
but
that was actually pretty dope. That was a good scene. Yeah.
yeah, but I was I can talk about Star Wars and stuff all day, man. But um, I had to get out of SHOT Show was my first firearm event this year. Actually, first firearm event ever, and I had to get out of my comfort zone
Hmm.
because like you said, that mentality of, oh God, I look like a fucking idiot, that was it's always in the back of my head. But you can kind of use that as like a platform building for what you plan on doing. So it's like if you start feeling like, oh, I look like a fucking idiot,
Hmm.
then you build off of that and say, how can I avoid looking like an idiot? What can I do to make myself more interesting? Um, how can how can I make myself more presentable to companies or brands
Yeah.
or so forth? Because um, Shot Show to me was like I saw the goal, but it was also an eye opener because you had a lot of you know starting out companies that have been doing it for a long time, and then you had the upper tier of companies that could literally afford like if they wanted to afford half of the room, they could, and they did.
Yeah.
So, it was almost like you had everybody who's just starting out all packed into this one small presentation room with like their little uh six by like say
The tiniest little kiosk area. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, I want to say 6 by 6, but I mean, yeah, you're shoved
Jeez.
in there. Yeah,
Yeah.
and they're trying to do their best to get their product out, and they have really good products, and they're really willing to talk to you because they want to do business with you.
Hmm.
But it seemed like the higher up you went, and I'm not saying like, everybody in the middle was all snooty, if you will, because I mean,
Yeah.
Otis Technology has always been great to me. They treat everybody like family. Um, Kinetic is always amazing. I love Kinetic. They're just down to earth people.
Yeah.
Down to earth people. Even Gerson, who I never had any interactions with, their PR people there were amazing. But then there was other places that were like, okay, well, yes, we have the information. You can send it to this email right here.
Hmm.
Okay, cool. So what's the email? Customer service at da-da-da-da.com. I'm like, okay, so I've traveled from Georgia all the way to Las Vegas just so you can read something off of a website to me. I appreciate that, really.
Yeah. That's yeah. No.
Yeah,
I
but
know what you mean. I've been to do a couple NRA events, and I've definitely had that same exact interaction with a couple companies, and it's just like, man, I don't even want to buy anything from you no more. Like that makes
yeah,
me like not even want to buy your products just because your sales rep is acting like a d bag and not doing his job.
yeah,
It's just like, come on, man.
yeah. And I'll be honest with you, 511 was kind of like that, you know.
Yep. Nope.
And I
I know. They're one of them. Nope. I know.
yeah, but it's weird because some of the I've bought a large majority of 511 stuff. I love the quality of the stuff that
Hmm.
I bought. Now granted there's some flaws here and there or whatever, but nonetheless I love the quality. And the only thing that would keep me going back to buy 511 is the brick and mortar locations.
Yeah.
I've ordered stuff online thinking it was coming from like a major warehouse or something. No, it was coming from like different brick and mortar locations from around the United States. And I
Hmm.
found this out because I got it was a postcard from Memphis that was literally thanking me for my business, and it was handwritten. The
Oh
average
wow.
company is not gonna do that. So
No, no. Yeah,
yeah,
that has to be those smaller shops all over the place. That's I didn't think they did that. That's pretty. I
uh,
mean, that's smart. You don't have to buy a warehouse, I guess. Yeah.
yeah, but I mean, you know how long it's been since I got the handwritten letter from a company?
Yeah.
Let
Yeah.
alone like a pen pal or something. I mean that made me that had an impact on me, and it just made me realize, okay, look, just because I had one shitty experience at a trade show doesn't mean that I got to burn the whole bridge down. Just
Yeah. Yeah.
I got to take your emotions out of it, if you will, because
And you may
honestly,
just talk to that one person that is
mhm,
that one person that you probably don't want to talk to, you know? I mean,
yeah,
that's just
your luck of the
you get
draw, I
that.
guess. But yeah, I had to learn that because the more bridges and networks you have available, I think the more business you'll be able to do versus like um I don't want to do business with them because they made fun of my mama when I asked about this backpack. Just that's stuff
Yeah,
like
just
that.
something goofy. Yeah,
Yeah, man.
that'd probably make me buy their backpack more, just because I think it would like they fuck with me. Like that's kind of funny.
I mean, yeah, it could be like that. Was it serious, your mama, or was it a
Yeah,
how?
yeah. Like how serious were you though?
Right.
Depends on if I'm buying shit from you or not.
Yeah, basically. But yeah, man. I mean, I guess all that to basically say you're always going to be your own worst critic,
Hmm.
and you are always going to be the one to determine how hard you work.
Yeah.
Um, for example, I got like a 10-hour job, and I realized this, especially earlier this year. Well, let's say near the end of last year, right? You got to make time for yourself.
Yeah.
Um, if you can go work 10 hours at a job or 8 hours or whatever at a job, yeah, 5 days out of the week, 4 days out of the week, whatever, you're
Hmm.
giving your time to them versus like putting some time into yourself. And at the
Yeah.
end of the day, you are one of the most important investments you can put anything towards.
Absolutely.
Don't hate yourself, man. Just learn from where you think you're making mistakes at.
Hmm.
That's how I look at it. So
Yeah.
even if you look like a fucking idiot, if looking like a fucking idiot, hey, stay stupid.
Right. Just stay stupid. Yeah. No, man. I went. So, have you ever been to? Well, no, you said that was your first one. So they have Pew Party. I went to
I
Pew
want
Party
to go.
3. Oh,
Yeah.
dude. I'm gonna be honest with you. The best experience. The absolute best experience I've ever had at a gun event. Strictly because like everyone there, every single person made you feel like family. Like every single person. It was just the best thing. Everybody you were talking to was just so nice, so happy. I mean, random people will be coming up to you talking. You just have great conversations. I mean, it was now when I first got there, I was kind of like, oh, but there's a lot of people, you know.
Yeah.
But it wasn't bad. And then I didn't have my mask on at first, and then I met up with some of the whiskey and windage dudes and kind of fucked with them at first. And I was like, "Hey man, how are y'all?" and blah blah blah. And then I ended up telling them who I was and put my mask on and walked through there. And I was like, "Dude, this is crazy." I've never seen just such a loving community with each other. Like that event that they set up was just it was beautiful. It was awesome for the 2A community. Like if anybody ever wants to go to a gun event, Pew Party is the one for sure. I feel like it is, but there's people from all over, man. Jay the Shooter and I forgot who the other guy was that put it on. I know Jay the Shooter put it on. Uh, Mark Choppa was out there. I'm not I'm not sure. I met him, talked to him for a little bit. He's a fucking awesome dude. Of course, fucking yeah, man. That it was crazy. I was at work and my coworkers were like, "Man, did y'all see that dude that got his house raided by the ATF and all this stuff?" And I was like,
That was crazy.
"Man, I didn't know
Yeah.
who it was at first, and I saw on his Instagram. I was like, no freaking way, man. I was like, that's insane. I'm glad that went good. That
He,
could have been a much worse situation. I'm glad it went the way it
he,
did.
he's about to get paid because
He deserves it.
yeah, because I mean it was the wrong house.
Yeah, yeah. Like how do you kick in a door, throw a flashbang in somebody's house, and be like, "Oops, my bad, wrong house."
Right. And of all people, Mark Chopper.
Bro,
Really?
they're very lucky. All I'm saying is that man, they're lucky that man was awake. They're lucky that man was awake. That would have been a whole different because I know how I am. If my door gets kicked in and I'm in dead sleep, I know what I'm grabbing first. I know the
Mm-hmm.
first thing I'm doing. And that's any gun owner. That's the problem with those warrants, like those raids like that. Like any gun owner, the dude that was some executive at an airport that They taped his freaking cameras up, kicked in his door, and ended up he pulled a gun out and shot him. Within 30 seconds, he was already shot and dead. Like 30 seconds of them kicking open the door, man. And they found out that he had 0 illegal firearms.
Yeah,
I
but
mean,
it's
like, yeah, you go into somebody's house knowing they have guns, you kick open their door. What do you think their reaction's going to be? Why do you think they have those guns? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I mean that's borderline tyrannical if you ask me, and
it is very tyrannical.
yeah,
Absolutely.
that's why the Second Amendment is there. I mean, I'm not trying to demonize police, but it's like whenever you set up it's a tactical assault at the end of the day on a
Yes.
civilian, and it's not like it just happens. I mean, it's planned.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody knows they have an idea of what the layout is because the city's got the layout, the houses and everything, so they can easily say, okay, cool,
Yep.
we're going through these doors, blah blah blah, and execute this. Versus somebody who's like either like you said awake or asleep in
Mm-hmm.
their own domain. Now, granted, they lose the aspect of the home field advantage because the other people have the plans. They don't know where the TVs and the plants are at, but nonetheless, they have a general idea of what the layout is. So
Yep.
at the end of the day, you are automatically set up to become a victim, no matter if
Mm-hmm.
you are pointing a firearm at them or not.
Yep.
So that's
And it's not like they're planning this for an hour ahead of time. They're
yeah,
planning this for a while. Like they know everything. They have the whole block. They have your house. They know what's going on. They know what's going on. And
yeah,
for them to go in there, kick open your door, not be sure if you actually are committing a felony or an actual crime, and kick open your door, throw flashbangs in, point guns at you and your family, that is tyrannical. That is absolutely why that certain agency should not be here anymore. But you know, hopefully we'll see. Old Cash
yeah.
gets in there, takes care of it. Maybe I'm
We'll
hoping.
see. We'll see. Um, yeah, I'm still tripping over the whole thing. Um, so on the topic of Insta, though, I think this year because I'm planning on going to GunCon. I've been approved by John already, so it's funny in the email. It's like, yeah, because yes, are you gonna crush it? I'm like, crush it, and I went to like this whole wrestling, promo email shoot, and
Mm-hmm.
the last couple of emails I wrote to him was like, I feel like we need to do the Predator bro handshake, and he's like, it's pretty much not. So I think when I get up there, that's what's gonna happen. It's gonna be like, Dylan, you son of a bitch.
Hell yeah.
But
Uh,
I'm gonna go to that one. I don't think I can make CanCon. NRA is in Georgia, so I'll be able to
yeah.
make that. Then you got primary arms here, so I'm
Oh
gonna be
yeah,
able.
y'all do have primary out there, huh?
Yeah, I think it's gonna be on a Thursday, so I'll probably have to do it like before work or something. But
Dude, I hate
yeah,
when they do that. I hate when they put them in the middle of the week. You're like, fuck, I gotta work.
but I mean, okay. So weird thing about Georgia, right? For some odd reason, maybe it's because of the cost of the venue or whatever, but they will put concerts in the middle of the week. Perfect example. Wu-Tang Clan is touring, and it's going to be their final tour. It's called, I think it's called the Final Chamber, right? They're not touring anymore, and they're touring with Run of Jewels. So I'm like, okay, cool. What day is this concert? I have Sunday, Monday, Tuesday off. They put that bitch on a Wednesday.
In the middle of the week.
In the,
What?
in the middle of the week.
How are they gonna do that?
I
Uh,
I don't know, but I
hey
might have to.
man, that's one you may have to take off. Well, I'm just saying that's the last concert.
Yeah,
It may
and
be
they're all
worth it. That's gonna be worth it.
yeah, they're all gonna be there. Even the ghost of ODB himself, just like the lights
Oh
go down. But yeah, man, are you gonna go to any more conventions or?
man, me and my buddies, we're talking about going to what is it? Quiet at the Capitol? I think that may have actually already passed. Could be wrong. My buddy was talking about it last week. I'm not sure. Next year I'm gonna try to hit Shot Show. I say that every year. I say that every year. Like, oh, next year I'm gonna try to go to SHOT Show, and I never do. Um, I want to eventually. It's just like going out to Vegas and doing all that stuff, and then it's a lot. It's like what you know better than I do. So, um,
You
yeah,
got to have a plan. I can tell
that's
you that.
yeah. I'm one of those people, man. I'll like, yeah, I'll have a plan and then last minute change it and like, all right, I'm gonna do this plan. So it's
You,
always it's
I
always
don't
crazy.
I don't recommend changing your plan at SHOT Show because Daryl Rostick at Rostick Arms, he told me straight up, man, he was there like I think all 4 days.
Hmm.
And that's my first time meeting him. So when he strolled up, he was chilling and he was like, "Yeah, you gotta have a plan. You can finish your whole entire schedule on one day." Meanwhile, everybody's running around getting patches and everything else. I've already done my business. I'm like, yeah, okay. Because
Yeah,
because
that
he
makes sense.
yeah,
Yeah.
because he owns his own firearm manufacturing company.
Hmm.
Like he makes his own firearms. So the patches and stuff are basically like Halloween trinkets for his kids. Cool.
Yeah.
But he's like, I need somebody that can supply me some barrels. I need somebody that can,
Oh,
do
so he's going around doing business. Yeah.
right. And that's how you got to treat it. Because like in your case, man, I just recommend like if you don't go there as an influencer, because I think I got to show you the video, man, because I did a panel with Gun Club Radio and Armed Atlas, and basically it was Rostic Arms, Parallel Defense, and Hood Neck. They all got on
Hmm.
there. They were just like dropping jewels and spitting game, and it really opened my eyes to a lot of stuff as far as like um, how you want to operate as not an influencer, but like as more like a business
Hmm.
because everybody's an influencer, man.
Yeah.
And for the most part, the title's been kind of tarnished because it's like you'll see bratty people sitting up here talking about, let me in this hotel or else I'll make a bad review about you. And now, like we said earlier, that kind of just paints everybody in that negative light. Nobody really wants
Yep.
to deal with an influencer. Versus, like in your case, you've got a whole group of friends, and if you want to test a product or something, you can say, "Hey, look, I'm interested in your product. I got a whole group of people who want to test it. I'll give you the results, and I also post it online."
Yeah.
That's a lot more weighed down versus like I'll just hold the product up and put it online. I mean, dude, you're gonna go out there, you're gonna get your ass dirty and everything else, try and tear that thing apart, and then be like, it survived, it's good. So you
Hmm.
have something to offer.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely.
yeah, that's how you gotta look at it, man.
Yeah. Definitely. I
Um,
didn't even. Yeah. I've never thought about it like that. That's a solid fucking way of thinking about it. I
yeah,
mean, essentially, you do want to portray yourself as a business because that's what you're doing. You're trying to. Yeah. Yeah. I got
yeah.
you. Yeah. That's
I,
solid as
I
fuck. Oh shit.
mean, if you want to get out there, man, I mean, hey, because I plan on going next year. Um, and that's also why I'm trying to build my media up more too, because
Yeah.
uh, like Arm Atlas said, it's like your content is your resume. So the more content you have out there, it speaks for itself. And even if you're doing something with like a small company or something, or like somebody who's trying to start your channel or whatever,
Hmm.
that weighs more versus like you trying to chase down Sig, you trying to chase down like all the big names, Canic.
Yeah.
No shade on Canic. I love Canic, but I'm just throwing names out there. You're trying to chase down all the big people to get like one or two videos on your YouTube or
Yeah.
one podcast. So
Yeah. I've noticed it's kind of been it. What I've been doing a lot of kind of studying into the algorithm of it and stuff. And like, you need to just post, you need to have content on there. You got to have stuff for people to go watch. You got to have like just posting one or two videos a month is kind of, or one video a month isn't going to really kind of cut it. Got to kind of
yeah,
have something there. So, yeah, I've been, man, YouTube just makes me nervous. I don't know why. It just does. But it's something that I definitely am planning on tackling. I'm in the middle of editing a couple things right now. We did a plate test, kind of steel plate test to show the spalding, and
mhm.
I'm a big person. I'm big advocate against wearing steel plates. I don't like steel plates. I mean, what happens when you shoot still? That metal's got to go somewhere, you know. So I shot a whole video on Spalding and how like even we took Kevlar, try to mitigate it. I was like, well, we'll wrap it in Kevlar, see if it mitigates the Spalding, which it did, but you can still see all of that shrapnel coming from that
Mhm.
plate. And I mean, it just buries itself into the cardboard or goes through the cardboard or goes through the, not through the Kevlar, but it was embedding itself in the Kevlar. So, like,
Wow.
doing different stuff like that, I'm trying to, which I'm working on that edit now, but I just want to do stuff like, hey, like, don't use certain shit like this, but kind of, I don't know. I've got so many different ideas. I'm just jumping all over the place till something catches, I guess.
You,
But yeah,
you know,
oh my
not
bad.
not not interrupt me. I'm sorry, but what helps with that?
Oh yeah, I've got a big one. It's it's full of crap, but yeah, it's
Eh,
like half ideas that are like, okay, maybe I can make this work, and then I'll do this one, and I'll do this one. But eventually, we'll figure out a solid way. But like you
Yeah,
said, dude, I need to just do it. I need to just hop on it and get it going, and hopefully, planning on this week dropping that video for the shrapnel. So that one
yeah.
should be out.
And
I'm just a little too picky on editing and video quality and stuff like that. I'm like, oh, it doesn't look like all these guys are, I'm like, okay, I need to just just put it
I,
out there, like you said.
I get it, man. And it's funny because like there, so I found this content creator. Her name is Courtney Shoots,
Mm-hmm.
and her quality of her videos is like you ever look at like water that's just still and it's like crystal clear, and yeah, that's her
Yeah,
quality. And I was like, wow, that's really cool. But she also, because I asked her about it, she made a good point. It's like you got to start out somewhere, but whatever quality you start out at, that's your line. You can't go underneath it. You can only go up from
you can
there. So
always improve. Yeah.
yeah, so like if you look at Hickok 45, right?
Mm-hmm.
He started out basic camera in his backyard shooting pot. You know, um, I call him Gun Grandpa because like he helped influence most of my
Oh
firearm
yeah.
purchase. Yeah, but he didn't have like where's this? Like I got an Osmo Pocket 3. Hang on, I'll show it to you. This thing was not this thing was not cheap. But this right here.
Okay. Yeah, I've seen those.
Yeah. The guy at Shot Show had it. And I asked him about it before I decided to pull the trigger on the purchase. And I can't remember what company he worked for, but he was basically the social media camera guy, right? He said he wishes he had this thing years ago because he doesn't need like a whole, he doesn't need a whole lot of equipment. He doesn't need extra stuff.
Gimbal or anything. Yeah.
Yeah, it just cuts on. It is the gimbal. It's great.
Man. Yeah.
Yeah, but
That is amazing.
that is a purchase I made after putting out content and then realizing I want to get better. You
Mm-hmm.
know, the other thing is when you spend money on it, you got to use it, and if you're not using it, then that's money wasted.
Yep.
Plus, I think I can write that off too. So it may have been
Yeah.
like 600, almost 700 something,
Yeah.
and then the Geek Squad protection, all the other stuff. Let's just say it was almost a grand.
Yeah.
That's a lot of money just to be wasted. So
Mm-hmm.
I got to justify purchasing it, and you're going to see more content put out. Matter of fact, on my Instagram, I put out a video for it was a CRKT provoke knife that was filmed
Mm-hmm.
with that cable. Um, the Kinesium device, which I got still got to do a review on, and like, dude, you got to check their page out. Great people. That's the device right there.
Oh shit.
Yeah, I mean that
What does that do?
it's cool
Is it
because
like an air tag basically?
it's a motion detection device.
Oh, okay, okay.
So like you hook it up through your internet connection at home, your
Mm-hmm.
wireless. get everything set up online, and then you hook it to what you're trying to make sure it doesn't move. So whether it's like your liquor cabinet or your firearms or whatever, so you don't want your kids to get involved or
Oh
kids to touch
shit.
anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, it will. All you gotta do is just tie it on there or set it in there or whatever. And like when you leave your house, if somebody messes with it, it shoots a text message to your phone that says, "Hey, somebody's messing with your firearm or somebody's messing with your liquor cabinet." It's
Damn. That's
you,
actually legit. That's really cool. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. They need people to help sell them too, and dude,
Yeah. That's cool. That's cool. I didn't know they made stuff like that at all, actually.
I
That's
didn't
pretty
either
neat.
until
That's
boom,
that's awesome, especially if you have kids at home and you're not there, you know? I mean, if they're old enough to stay home by themselves, but you're not there and you have firearms somewhere and some kid gets curious and like, oh, let me go dig in the safe or let me go dig in this or
Yep.
yeah, that's all. That's life saving, honestly.
Yeah,
So
man, it's worth it. But
yeah,
yeah, man,
definitely.
just there's always content out there, and there's always stuff you can put out, and there's always people that need help, and just make yourself
Yeah.
available.
Yeah, man, I need to. I've just been kind of I don't know. I haven't done anything but Instagram the past couple of years, and I've just been like hanging out on Instagram, I guess, not really doing anything, just randomly posting. So it's like I need to start doing stuff now. I think it's time.
Well, if you need
We
help, man, I mean, I don't mind. I definitely don't mind, especially let's see, this year, next year, because if you're going to other conventions and everything, I'll definitely meet up with you.
bro, I'd love to. I'd absolutely love to. This year I do want to start hitting more conventions for sure because I need to get out of that stay at home and I need to get out and do stuff and like go
Yeah,
be social and like go hang out with my people, man. My 2A people. It's just like I need that sometimes, you know. It's good. It's good to do. Plus, like, there's a lot of good people. You meet so many people at those events. They're awesome. I've never been to an event and not met like had just an awesome conversation with somebody. Like,
mm,
there's never a time where when that's ever happened. But yeah, dude, this year I gotta hit more events. This year, next year, I gotta start hitting them for sure. Because the Pew Party was amazing. The NRA shows they're all right. I don't really, eh, they're cool. But I get drugged there most of the time.
hey, you gotta rub those elbows, man.
Yeah, yeah, no. My buddy's like, no, come on, you just need to go. I'm like, it's just the same stuff. So we do this all the time. But yeah,
So,
it's I want to start going to more of the like community events. Like they have
mhm.
Clash Bash coming up. Um, sadly, I will not be able to go to that one. I wanted to so bad. Me and my buddies, we were about to buy tickets, getting everything ready, and then we have that we're going to meet Bolo the same weekend, Bolo Defense the same weekend, and I was like, dude, wait, no, we can't do all that. I was like, that's too much in one weekend. That's two different cities, and yeah, I was like, no. But
I get it.
hopefully some more come up. We're gonna start hitting them, man. Definitely if definitely like to travel even out to fucking Georgia. I ain't been out there in a long time, but go out
Yeah,
there and fucking hang
we
out,
got a
man.
water
Hit some
burger.
events. Y'all got a Waterburger? Oh shit!
All right,
I'm
it's so
sold.
took forever. Because like I was born in Texas, right? So I grew
Yeah,
up on Whataburger, Dallas Fort Worth area. I don't know if they have a Burger Street near you, but I mean, like stuff like that. The closest
yeah,
thing to Burger Street you'll get here is like Checkers.
yeah.
If and that's a long shot, but um so for years I was like, I miss Whataburger, I miss Whataburger. And this was when I was in I think middle school, about to be in high school. And we got Whataburger by the time I was 38, 39. Took them long enough. My
Yeah,
grandma,
no shit, man.
there's some
Gosh.
locations where it's like, okay. I mean, it's not like it was in Texas because, that is where Whataburger came from. I can go to
Yeah,
Texas, or I can go to Texas, go to San Antonio and go to Whataburger, just like I can go to Texas and go to Dallas Fort Worth and get Whataburger, and the quality's still going to be there.
yeah.
But I think it's just like the Texas thing, man, because
Really?
it over in Georgia, but
You think it's just like maybe they're like different? I don't know because like I live really close to Louisiana, so I go to Louisiana all the time. But
mhm.
their Dairy Queen, man, their Dairy Queen has a completely different menu. It tastes all different. It's so weird. They don't. Do you know what?
Yeah.
Do y'all have the dude on your Dairy Queen menu? It sounds weird.
Which one is that? Because
It's like a. Uh,
the one with the A1 sauce.
no. It's got a fried chicken fried steak patty. Chicken fried steak patty, and it's like a burger, but it's chicken fried steak patty. It's so fucking good.
I might have missed it because the only one that comes to mind is like a chicken tender
They have
sandwich.
that too. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I guess it's just a Texas thing because I went to Louisiana and well, I was with the coworker and he asked the person taking an order for two dudes and
Okay.
the look on their face was pretty interesting. I will say that. They were like, "Excuse me, you need what?" They're like, "We don't have that here." I was like,
Right.
"Oh man, this
They're
is
like,
awkward."
the Starship is further up.
Yeah, you're at the wrong restaurant, buddy. Yeah. Yeah, no, it was funny. They have a complete different menu though, man. It's weird. I guess I don't know. It tastes different, so maybe Whataburger's on the same thing. I don't know.
It might be. I don't know. God, I just yeah, and you're right about the travel, man. I want to travel more too, because like even road trips, because you'll see some of the weirdest stuff on road trips.
Hmm.
Because you talking about two dudes, and I brought up Starship. I'll never forget. I think I was going to North Carolina, and I was just on the highway, and I'm passing by stuff, and there's like this big cross on one side, but on the other side there's a billboard for like the world's largest adult shop. So it's literally like
Of
cross over,
course.
and you're like, okay, well at least after I get done sinning, I go cleanse myself.
Yeah.
So
And go ahead and pray afterwards.
you can't be too dirty, can't be too clean, but it's a good.
Right? Yeah. They're like, you know what? You have your good on one side, your bad on the other side. It'll be all right.
Basically, dude, it's
Yeah,
you see
those
some.
towns like that are funny, man. You always have those towns that have their little porn shop, and you got the church right across the street, or like something else. My favorite's always seeing the divorce attorneys, the liquor shop, the gun store, then the recruiter's office all in one strip. That's like, dude, all in one. Just make your way down.
I do. Um, the craziest thing I seen, and I think this was I can't remember where in Georgia, but most people know about this sign. This sign said drug and gun. And I'm over here thinking to myself, I don't think that's legal.
I don't think those two go together.
Yeah, I mean, granted, it was like a pharmacy, but they knew what they were doing. They're like drug and gun. Like, okay, so
Drug and gun.
you can go ahead and get the Advil up front, and then you go around the back and get your firearm out of the back of somebody's trunk. I don't
Right?
want to know about it. It don't seem
Uh,
safe.
Go get your Theraflu from the counter and get your Glock in the back. That's how that works.
It was weird, man. And they had the nerve. I mean, it was like a big ass sign, and they took a handgun, but they made it look like it was a cannon. They just blew up the handgun, and it looked like
Just I need some ibuprofen and some 9 mil, please. Just something
right. So we have something that will stop headaches, and we have something that will.
something that will completely stop your headaches. No. I'm sorry.
Right. Yeah, if you ever do, if you ever make it out here, let me know. Cause yeah,
Bro, I got to. I gotta start making more trips and stuff, man. I definitely do. My buddies, we do I say it's a mental health podcast. It's gone all over the place now.
yeah, I wanted to ask you about that. That's the Triumph in the Shadows podcast.
Trying from the shadows, but I'm gonna go ahead and let you know before anybody else knows. The name is changing, so it is oh shit, what's the name? It's a little it, it's a little unhinged now, so it's a little unhinged podcast. So it's really weird how it worked out. I have a buddy that we were in the same guard unit together. And we hit it off instantly, and we've been brothers ever since. Um, then there's another guy that he's been on a deployment for the past 10 years. He just moved back into town, and we didn't give him an option. We drug him on the podcast and said, "Hey, you're going to be a part of it." So, because he's in our little, it's just the three of us. We're all in the same unit together. We're just super tight, man. So, um, it's just something that like we don't want to just keyhole ourselves just into mental health because one thing we're also ADHD will jump all over the place anyway. So it's like we need to probably change a little bit. So yeah, we're gonna change it, and then we actually started filming our last podcast, and we're gonna put them up on YouTube now. So
Nice.
yeah, that's another thing we're going out to Austin for is we're gonna do a podcast with Bolo as well and have them on and stuff like that. So we got us a video of actual videographer and stuff, and he's gonna be traveling with us on the whole trip and filming the thing. And well, he's gonna be doing videos for me and the podcast now. So I say like he's an actual videographer. He's my cousin, so he just knows how to hold a camera.
That, that's mainly that's a skill that's definitely in need because like I want to start doing more interviews with like actual face to face interviews, but
Mm-hmm.
if I'm trying to like do selfie mode and I'm over here like,
Dude, it's
okay,
hard.
so
Mm-hmm.
tell us about this, and then they gotta it looks bad. So
Yeah, I feel yeah, nope. That's just and so many people do it and they get away with it and they do it so well. But for me, I'm just like I can't mentally make myself hold that phone up like that and do that. I'm just like
if I'm looking at a product, that's one thing, but if I'm trying to interview somebody, I mean, I think it's especially like a you know VIP of a company or something. I think
yeah,
that unless that's your stick, it's gonna be kind of hard to.
weird. Yeah, you want a more you want that more professional feel to it too. Yeah, yeah, I feel that 100%. That's why I was just like, hey man, if you're not doing anything, start coming to the range with me. So
Yeah,
I've been bringing them to the range. I've been teaching them and stuff too. So like they're new into guns. They never really mess with it too much. So now they're learning too while it's at it, and they're all getting into it, wanting to do builds now. So it's been fun, man. But yeah, dude, having somebody on the other side of the camera is helping me so much to talk. Like just being able to talk, because like holding it and doing that is way harder. I don't know why, but talking to somebody, it's like, oh no, I got that. So it
yeah,
helps.
it's probably trying to focus on okay, my eyes, do I look right? You know,
Yeah, yeah. It's like, oh
that
man, too much going on at once.
I know. Um, so Kinetic Customs.
Mm-hmm.
What can you tell me about that?
So Kinetic Customs is actually my company. They are we my co-owner is Stars, which you probably see him every once in a while pop up. But we make t-shirts right now. We
Mhm.
actually are coming out with holsters, and our holsters are a little bit different. So I don't know if you can really see
Cool.
this.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, so I hate just plain normal basic color holsters. What I've done on these is this back is actually leather. This is kind of a prototype thing right now. Um,
Cool.
but it's I have I don't know why I'm talking like I'm special right now. So I have this holster to where I made it to where it sits in at a cant. So when you're actually carrying it, I'll stand up a little bit. I don't know if you can see. So when you're carrying it, it sits down and it
Mhm.
covers pretty well. Even with this is a full size 19X. I feel pretty confident carrying it in a decent skinny shirt. Um,
Wow.
but I mean, it cants like this, so it takes this grip and puts it more center mass. So you're not actually having that handle stick out on the side any out of your shirt or anything like that when you usually appendix carry. Um, the leather makes it so much more comfortable than just like basic kydex. Because when you have basic kydex just sitting there pushing up against you the whole time, that stuff hurts, dude. So I've actually worked on this for a year or so now, but this one's a little bit newer one that I was just playing around with. I'm obsessed with Batman, obviously, but I uh I have a few more that are a little more colorful. We've started changing the leather to like a buffalo hide and just softer leathers, and they seem to form fit a lot better. And actually, when you have them, I mean, like they start molding to your body. Like the leather will mold to your body. I've had quite a few people tell me, "Hey, man, I can't even tell. I forgot I was even carrying this." Like I've literally walked through a metal detector and got in trouble at work because I forgot I
Oh,
had my yeah. He was like, I did not know. I forgot I had this on here. And I was like, oh my God, dude, I am so sorry, but that's also awesome. So I was like, I apologize, but not my fault. Uh, but yeah, and then I got a couple other people. I've sent them out to Wisconsin and Florida and had some people testing them out this past year or so, kind of giving me feedback on how they like them. So actually gonna launch on May 4th, which we haven't come public with any of that yet, but we'll, whatever. But we're gonna launch on May 4th, and I think we're gonna do uh a special theme, which it's May 4th, so sure.
oh.
Yeah. So we're gonna
I,
do a whole theme, and we're gonna do them in boxes, and it's gonna be the holster included with a matching T-shirt or on theme T-shirt. We're probably gonna throw mags in there, some other little stuff, slaps, stuff like that. So just a whole bundle package deal for.
I mean, you already know which one I want.
Right, the green one. Yeah, man. No, we're definitely like, it's gonna be cool. It's gonna be cool. We've been planning it for a while. We've been kind of just playing around, I guess, with stuff. We work with other shops locally and do kydex and stuff with them.
Mhm.
We sell kydex locally and stuff. We've never done online anything with kydex. We've just been kind of playing around with t-shirts, to be honest with you. Uh,
Oh, d- we, okay, crazy question. Do y'all do custom shirts too?
yeah, yeah, we do everything.
Okay, because I'm gonna need some swag, man. I
So
guess we got
we
this coming up.
Oh yeah. So we actually, I'll get you in contact with somebody that it'll be a lot better than us. Uh, because we're going away from who we were going with. We were working with Printify, and I do not like their t-shirts. I don't like their quality. I don't like their prints. They're okay, but sometimes I get some bad products
Yeah.
from them, and I'm like, no, dude, we can't have this. So I actually found someone local that
Hmm.
she does awesome prints, man. She does laser engraving, stickers, prints. She can print on the neck, the shoulders, the chest, everywhere you want. Everywhere you want. I'll get you in contact with them for sure. Actually,
Yeah.
they're Black Butterfly LLC on Instagram. I'll go ahead and give them a shout out. They're pretty awesome. Uh, it's actually anything Target by chance?
Uh, don't think so. I'll look them up.
Yeah, I do a lot of. So he lives about 2 hours away from me, and he comes down to my range, and we shoot a lot of videos. We just did a Timu plate test armor on his YouTube channel. Yeah, dude, it was wild. It was wild. We hit it with a 500 Smith and Wesson. It didn't go through it. No, we couldn't penetrate it. We didn't penetrate it.
The Timu armor? The
$65
hell?
plate Timu armor. The $30 soft armor held up to a lot of stuff too.
I guess that was probably what the Yakeda airsoft armor.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't. I think so. I think it has like a triangle in the middle, something like that.
Something like that. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Dude, it held up 5.56, ate it. 300 blackout, ate it.
It ate
30,
blackout.
yeah. 30-06 didn't penetrate. Uh, yeah, yeah, dude, it's a crazy video. It's we hit it with a lot of stuff. So
It's like almost level 4 type. If I'm thinking right, because like level 3 plus will stop up to 5.56. I think level 4 will. I mean, I'm probably getting my calibers wrong. It's been a minute since I looked at the NIJ list, but I
yeah, I
think
want to say 7.62.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it stopped him, man. It was now you're gonna have some internal damage, but it stopped him. you know.
Still be alive, I would hope, but I mean, yeah,
Yeah, man. I don't know what they're making them out of, but they yeah,
dude,
60
the hell
bucks.
the hell what they making them out of, man? Like Timo trying to get people prepped for war over here.
I don't know what they're doing, man. They're next thing you know, they're gonna be selling night vision and lowers.
Actually, they already
God, they probably
already
already
are
are.
selling night vision. The lowers, I don't know. They'll probably be
Uh,
like if it's some,
airsoft lowers,
yeah.
airsoft.
I'm sorry, I got so involved in like as soon as you hit the camera, we just like talking like two old friends or whatever. I think I missed
Yeah,
like the
sorry, man.
no, you good, dude. This is cool. I'd much rather have an organic interview versus like. So tell me about your childhood,
Oh yeah. That'd be
because I mean,
depressing. You don't want to know all that.
find me somebody who has a normal
Or
childhood. I mean,
no shit, dude.
it's,
It's all of us.
right.
We're all
I mean,
fucked up in some way, our
and
own
that
way.
perfectly fucked up in every way. No,
Right.
um, shit. I mean, I guess since we talk about holsters and everything, what would you say? Actually, no. Let's. How did you start your Second Amendment journey?
Oh,
I
that's
started as a child. No, I'm kidding.
it. All started at a young age. No, man, I have been obsessed with guns since I can remember. I since I was little, always wanted to be a cop, be in the military, stuff like that. Um, got to about 10, 11. My let me back it up a little bit. My stepdad, his mother got shot by his dad when he was young. So
Mm,
huge advocate about not having guns in the house. So never grew up with guns in the house. My grandparents owned some property, so I'd always go out there and shoot. We'd shoot BB guns, shotguns, 22, stuff like that. Immediately when I became 18, that's when all the bad stuff started happening because I started buying firearms. I was like, you know what? I want guns. I can get guns now. So after that, it went from buying just cheap little Ruger pistols, Mosin Nagants, ARs, and now it's evolved very into a bad habit. So, uh, but yeah, no, I started getting into that, man, and I don't know, I started getting into guns real big, and then a lot of my friends, we're all big 2A advocates. We've always been. I mean, I love the Second Amendment. I always do what I can to protect the Second Amendment if it needs to, if it needs to be protected in that way. But hopefully not ever. But
yeah.
never know. But yeah, dude, I've always been a huge advocate of the 2A. Just our whole constitution in general. Other countries don't have what we have. They don't.
Mm,
And we're absolutely blessed that our founding fathers gave us that constitution to go by, and even so long after we're still using it, luckily still using it. I mean, other countries don't have that, and that's something that I feel like if you don't use it and you don't try to protect it, it's going to go away. If there's not people, just say everybody just was like, you know what, we're just going to stop using guns. It's not a big deal. Everybody just for some reason just stop. In the next 4 or 5 years, we wouldn't have a Second Amendment because there's no need for one. You know what I mean? So, like, I feel like if you don't exercise your freedoms, then why do you even have them? You know, like you need to
Mm,
exercise your freedoms. But um, not just that, but just seeing the absolute tyranny that is imposed on our freedoms all the time. Our Second Amendment, like 10 years ago, dude, compared to now, is so different. Like the laws that they have implemented and changed and put in red flag laws and all this extra stuff just here and there, slowly, 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 they're just slowly chipping away at it. You know what I mean? And
mhm,
so to me, I was like, you know what? I really got on Instagram and started posting out of depression, pure depression. I was just like, you know what? I want to do something creative. I want to do something, and I love 2A stuff. I love gun stuff. I want to become like an advocate. I want to, like that's what I want to do. I want to post stuff about 2A. I want to be, that's what I wanted to do. But
mhm.
it's completely evolved into that, and I mean, it's turned into something a little more creative than what I was thinking. I was just trying to like get on a soapbox and stuff at first, and now it's a little bit different than that, I guess. But I don't know, man. It's weird because now we're at such a weird place with our, I guess, constitution and our with the ATF and all these laws, and like we're in a lull almost. Like I don't know what's gonna happen. I don't know if all these laws that have been like there's no reason we should be paying the government to buy a suppressor. There's no reason we should be paying the government to say, "Hey, I want to put a stock on my short-barreled rifle." Like, how does that make it any more dangerous? How does that make it any more effective? It doesn't. Like, none of that makes sense. Why should I have to put a brace instead of a stock? It's the same thing. It's the same thing. I mean, people will
Mm.
say, "Oh no, it's not," but it is. It is. It's used the same. It's just like all these little tiny things that have been ate away at our Second Amendment for years and years and years. It's like that's the shit we need to go after. That's the shit we need to be fighting because if we don't push that shit back first, we can't get to the root issues. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? It's I don't know. But I've gotten way off on a tangent. I don't even know what we were talking about no more. No.
Now, what got you to your Second Amendment
Yeah,
journey? But
yeah, yeah.
that was a good tangent.
No, really it was just hanging out with a bunch of different guys and then that were just huge in the Second Amendment. And they were probably a little bit more crazy into it than I was at first. I will say that. Um, but just hanging out with some guys that like openly were like, "Hey, look, this is what's going on with our country, and this is what they are trying to do to our Second Amendment, and this is what they're trying to take away from us. And if they take this away from us, then we lose the rest." And so that to me seemed like the most absolute important thing. Like I don't know. It just to me like freedom is what matters. Without freedom, you're nothing. You're you're just a cog in the wheel. You know what I mean? If you
Mm.
don't have the your own if you don't have the freedom to make your own choices and decisions and do what you want, then you're just another cog in the wheel. You're just you're just going through life being told what to do for the rest of your life. And to me, the Second Amendment is what protects every single part of that. Like if
Mm.
we didn't have the Second Amendment, we probably would already be another country. Like I feel like our population is so armed, it's a big deterrent to other countries. I mean, I feel like they're not going to want to come step foot on here and start just fighting random civilians because they know half of us are pretty armed. I mean, half of us have more than one or two firearms in our house. So,
Yeah.
I mean, it's just I feel like there's a lot of people that just post stuff about gun stuff, and they're all about guns and stuff. But like, man, at some point you got to stand up and you got to be like, hey, look, this is fucked up. And I know a lot of people don't like getting political, but like, if you don't say it, somebody might not ever say it. Somebody might be like, you know what, whatever, let it happen. Yeah, I mean, it's just, I don't know. I think the Second Amendment is the most important amendment, just to me. That, well, free speech is pretty important too, I guess, but Second Amendment is also very important.
I mean, it makes sense, and yeah, I get it because that's a good point you made. If somebody doesn't say it, then eventually somebody else, or it'll never get said.
Yeah.
And there's still a whole lot out there that the government can take care of, but they're not really focusing on taking care of it.
Mm-mm.
If
Yeah.
it's like they'll throw out red herrings to the point where everybody's talking about this one issue, and like I'll go ahead and say it, like the whole people like the politicians like to use the whole woke culture thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
But they use it in a negative because they know the original reason why it even happened was targeting some stuff that needed to change, to
Yep.
get everybody unified and on code and like to make the nation run
So
better
I
versus
odd you
like
saying that. A whole I remember when that all came about, in that whole
mhm.
beginning of that first couple of months, being woke was okay. Being woke was fine. And then all that narrative changed and spun into, oh, you're
Yep.
woke, you're a bad person now. You're like crazy liberal, or you're just, it's like, come on.
Yeah.
Come on, people.
Now woke and DEI and it's like
It's all the psychological operations, man.
basically because I mean at the end of the day it's just it turns into a slur, and the sad thing is it's real the sad thing is how easy it is to throw that stuff out
Mm-hmm.
and not really consider the whole background behind what it's really doing or what it really was meant to be because like you said woke a long time ago it was being it
You're
was
opening your
progressive.
eyes. Yeah.
Right. You're seeing the bullshit that's going on and
Mm-hmm.
you're logically talking against it
Yep.
versus like all of a sudden you look up and uh watching it be commandeered by like all these different movements to the point where uh to go back to where we were talking earlier, everything gets painted underneath one flat brushstroke and now it's all negative
Yeah.
versus not really understanding what the real reason why it happened was. Because I mean, there's stuff going on right now to where I wouldn't want to see my daughter have to deal with that in the future.
Yeah,
But,
dude. Yeah.
but yeah,
100%.
yeah, and you still got people that are like, it should be okay, it's fine. And meanwhile, like stuff I've seen dealing with certain things, I'm like, nah, I
I don't
don't.
want my daughter exposed to that shit. Yeah, I 100% feel that. Like, I get that. Yeah.
And I'm
Yeah.
not sitting there saying I don't support certain things that are going on because at the end of the day, there's people that are out there that are like they actually genuinely want the help and the assistance, and
Yeah.
they're not trying to shove something in your face.
Mm-hmm.
If anything, that's why we got the first and the second. So the word can be spoken and protected.
Yep.
But I guess to use a tyrannical word again, I mean, if the government is backing it and they're pushing this stuff and they're forcing it on you, and to go back to another thing you were saying, a large majority of people they're not saying too much about it because now, since it wasn't said back then, it's considered wrong. And whenever you
Mm-hmm.
say the wrong thing, you get canceled. It's like what's that show, Black Mirror? All of a sudden,
Oh, yeah.
and cancel is weird to me because people point at you, you're canceled, and it's like you're supposed to turn into like a the outline of what you are and nobody can hear
Yeah.
you. Like, no, that's not how this works. You're still a person.
Mm-mm.
You still
Yeah.
have your own thoughts and your own logic and your own beliefs. But I think the other biggest problem is nobody really wanted to sit down and have full blown conversations to understand or make compromises. It was just like you're either here or you're over there.
That's the thing that gets me is like, man, if you would just sit down and have a adult conversation with somebody and listen to each other's side, you could
Mhm.
probably somehow both see how, okay, your side makes sense, your side makes sense. There's somewhere in the middle where we can meet. There's always like there's
Yeah,
that I just don't understand. Some people just they're just whew. It's just one track mind. That's it. That's all it is. That's the way it is, and they're locked in, man. And it's crazy. It's
yeah.
terrifying, really.
But that's how you end up with like generational traumas and like generational
Yeah.
repetition. Like you're looking like take the Middle East for example. Um, they've been waging that war for God.
Ever dang near.
Yeah, I mean, biblical times. I mean,
Hmm.
what's the guy's name? Charles Martel, I think. He's Charles the Hammer and um, the Crusades. I mean,
Yeah.
there's so many wars over there, new and old, to
Yeah.
the point where it's like, do people really understand why they're fighting it still?
I don't think so. That's the crazy. I mean, even if you look at the Israel and Gaza thing right now. So
Mhm.
the Houthis or the Houthis, I can't even remember. The not Houthis. They are Houth. I'm thinking the wrong one. Hassan, it's a Hassan that's over there. I can't remember.
Um,
Anywhere, the Palestinians in Gaza. There we go. That's what I was thinking of. The Palestinians in Gaza. They've been there for so long, and when we during World War II, when we said, "Hey, Israel, you can have this. This is yours now," we took part of their Palestinians' land, which they fight back and forth. Whoever's it was, I really don't know. It doesn't matter to me. It's not mine. Period. So, uh, the they had been fighting for generations and generations of like, hey, we want them gone. We want them gone. They're bad people. They're bad people. They're raising all these children, all these kids to believe that the Israelis or the Palestinians are bad. Each side, they're raising them to believe that they are just trash. They're dogs. They're like terrible people. They're terrible, terrible people that just want to hurt you. So they grow up learning that their whole life. And so it's legit a generational thing, like you said. It's just passed down and passed down and passed down to where they are just continuously fighting. And then we have what we have now, an all out, well, I say war, but it's doesn't look like a very it looks a very one-sided war. Somebody's
yeah,
getting
it's a culture war, and
yeah,
I mean, we've got that here in America. It's
yeah,
just
yeah.
honestly, you would think that because I mean, we also have geriatric politics. You
Oh my
know,
god, dude. Yeah. Don't even get me started on that one.
you would think that for a group of people who've quote unquote seen everything,
Mm-hmm.
they would understand and they'd be willing to like try and move towards fixing it. And if
Yeah.
anything, to prevent that generational curse, the politicians they allow in there that are younger, they would kind of guide them towards getting away from all that bullshit. But if anything,
Doing things right. Yeah.
right. But end of the day, it's just all a big cash grab
Mm-hmm.
at the expense of
Yeah,
the.
they're making 180K a year, and
Mhm.
then they're worth 2 billion. Like,
Yeah,
nah, that don't make any sense. That don't make no
that math
sense.
ain't mathing.
Yeah, no, it ain't.
Somebody gave you something along the way. That's
Yeah, yeah. That's that. That's the thing, man. They're 100% should be term limits, and once you reach like maybe the I don't know the age 80, 90, you probably shouldn't be in Congress anymore. I don't know. It's like once you start having some serious mental issues, they should. They should have like a mental cognitive test that they need to do every year, like just so they can make sure they're with it. Because I feel like some of them, they're just so, dude, they're
Yeah,
just so not with it. They got blinders on. Like it's like they have blinders on.
or like they're stuck in that time period because it's like
Yeah.
we get ice cream every Sunday. Like, who the hell is with ice
Biden's
cream?
not here no more. We don't get ice cream.
It's just it's weird. Like they're not with it. And then on top of that, the
Mhm.
sad thing is even if they did have that test, especially based on recent stuff
Oh,
that's going on,
yeah.
you know somebody would be like, "Oh, they're fine." Meanwhile, they're over there babbling, playing with blocks, spelling out words that don't even make any sense, and you're like,
Well, I mean, the last 4 years, for example, you know, it's cause
"Yeah,
that man acted like a Roomba. Anytime he give a speech, he just walk around. Yeah,
yeah."
no, he just
I had people. I mean, they felt sad for the dude because it's like
yeah,
it's almost like somebody put your granddad up there from
yeah, dude.
yeah,
Took him
yeah
out of
from
hospice and
yeah,
like was like, hey,
yeah, yeah. So it's like,
I did, man. A lot of the times I did feel bad. I was just like, dude, that dude's so lost. Like you could see it in his face. He had no idea where he was, like just
yeah,
lost, man. And you're just like, dude, some like the past 4 years was wild. The past 4 years was crazy. It was like a whole wild Black Mirror episode. It was just weird.
yeah. Yeah.
Just a
Honestly,
weird thing.
yeah, dude. I just all I know is honestly, I think it's sad and it's fucked up that they would go to the lengths to like put some old dude up there
Yeah,
and gas him up and let him think he's okay, just to make sure they can maintain some sort of order as far as what they wanted.
yeah. Power and control, man. That's it.
Yeah, and if they're willing to do that to an old politician, what are they willing to do to us as people?
Yeah. Oh
So
yeah.
yeah,
I mean, it's scary, man. I feel like this past 4 years we've just seen a lot of the corruption, and I'm
mm,
sure it's been going on. I mean, it's obviously been going on forever. Uh,
yeah, easily.
I I really hope, like, I really hope that this cabinet. I'm not politically on either side, to be honest with you. I'm not. It's like
Same. Yeah.
I like I like Trump somewhat. He's a businessman, and what America needs is a businessman, in my opinion. America is a business. It's you know now his tweets those get wild. He's a wild
Yeah.
man, but he's just got a mouth on him, you know. But I mean, honestly, I'm not super on one side. I'm not. I've never have been, but I am freedom. That's all I'm about. Just
Mm,
freedom, whichever side. But just seeing the cabinet that they have now, I'm really hoping that they make actual changes. I mean, they need revolutionary changes. They need to go through the FBI. They need to get rid of half the corrupt people that are in the FBI, because I'm sure there's a list of them. There's the ATF that, in my personal opinion, shouldn't even be a thing at all. That whole the whole of the ATF is a tyrannical infringement on our Second Amendment. There is
mm,
in no way, shape, or form should be a agency regulating what we can and cannot have, because in the Second Amendment it states we have the right to bear arms. So to Jesus, carry and bear arms. I can't even remember now. I'm all over the place, dude. But we have the right. We have that right. And so it's just I don't know. I legit just went blank. I looked over for a second and lost my train of thought. Uh, oh man. But it's it's just wild, man. The Second Amendment's there to protect us, like you said.
mm.
It's supposed to be there to protect us. It's not. supposed to be there so the ATF can sit there and chip away at, hey, you can have that, but you can't have that. You can have that, but you can't have that. You can have this, but you can't have that. It's like, no, man, we should be able, I should be able to pull a goddamn tank in my fucking driveway if I want to. You know? I mean, fuck. I want a F-14. I want a fighter jet. But I mean, honestly, we should. I get their cases on. Oh well, there's gonna be bad people trying to do like the mass shooting shit and stuff. Well, if they have automatics, it's even faster. Well, honestly, if that person really wants to, they can put a trigger in there and shoot just as fast. They can put a bump stock on there and shoot just as fast. It's not going to change bad people from doing bad things. Laws are never going to stop bad people from doing bad things. That is what it is. So why punish the population that abides by the law for bad people? It just, I don't know. It's an aggravating thing. I don't like the ATF. They're they're a tyrannical group of trash.
For me,
But yeah.
I would rather because there's certain police forces out there like the Red Dog unit and the Scorpion unit. Now, it's literally like a tactical unit for, in my opinion, basic civilian interaction. But it was too much because
Yeah.
the last thing that happened, I think it was with the Scorpion unit, which I can't remember the state, but the person that was over the Red Dogs unit in Georgia, I think it was Tennessee. I'm probably wrong, but they, I think the Scorpion unit failed in Georgia, or something happened, so they ended up going to wherever it was, Tennessee, and they created the no, I'm sorry, the Red Dogs unit failed in Georgia, so they ended up creating a Scorpion unit in wherever they went to, and instead of trying to serve the public, they ended up serving their own needs because they literally beat a man to death, all because I think one of the guys, ex-girlfriend, ex-wife, they had some type of romantic entanglement. I think the guy was messing around or dating them. So one of the
Mm,
guys in the unit found out, got the whole pretty much a majority of the squad together and beat this man to death, all because of some personal stuff. When you give a unit that much power over the
yeah.
public, that's too much. Especially if they're going
100%.
right, they're gonna, and I think they mainly pick these agents out based on their aggression and everything else. You know,
Mhm.
on the flip side of that, you got the I call them the Acorn Squad down in Florida. You look up, they had that negligent, not even really negligent discharge. Like the Acorn fell and hit the dude, and he started freaking out.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, that's the same precinct that had the police officer that shot Roger Fortson in his own house.
Oh
The
shit.
Yeah, the airman that was in his house.
Mhm.
And it was like some lady called up, said she heard a disturbance up there, so the police officer, I guess, went up there with the whole domestic abuse situation in his mind. And um if I and I'll be honest, if I'm in my apartment by myself and I hear a knock on the door, because I looking at the video, I mean, I'm not a police officer, never was on the force, never was military, whatever, but I'm just looking at it from a civilian perspective. The way the guy knocked on the door and then he turned away from the door, like he literally had his back to the door, and then he turned back. To me, that doesn't seem like somebody who's uh taking into account their surroundings or they feel threatened.
No,
Because if you
100%.
back to the door, yeah, you don't feel threatened. So
Mm-mm.
when Roger Fortson opened the door up, he had his firearm at the low. It wasn't at the ready, it was at the low, right? That's when that police officer just opened up on him and killed him in his own house.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
it's just things like that. If you're gonna be policing the general population, you also need to police the police as well. That's what
100%. Absolutely. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. I couldn't agree more, dude. Some of them just, it's like some of them feel that they have power. They're like, hey, I got a badge and I can fucking use this. Like, I'm not going to dox where I live, but the town next to me, oh my God, man. The police officers out there, I cannot stand them just because they have that complex, all of them. They're like, we have a badge, you do what I tell you type. Like, no, dude. Like, if you have they just announced that they're not responding to break-ins, burglaries, car thefts, something else. Yeah. And domestics or something? Yeah, domestic disputes. Yeah. Yeah, it's wild. But if you go 5 miles over the speed limit or don't wear that seatbelt, they'll be on you.
Generates revenue. Yeah, of course.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
wild, man.
that's sad.
It really is, dude. I mean, it's our police need better training and like you said, they need policing. They need policing. Like 100%. I'm not saying all police, but definitely there's a good big group. There's a good big group to make the rest of them look bad. For sure. For sure.
'Cause I think they shut down a whole precinct in Alabama because there was some illegal activity going on. At least I think it was a whole precinct. I just remember seeing a headline and they had like all these mug shots and everything. They shut down the whole. Yeah,
Holy shit. That's
yeah.
wild. When
I
you
gotta
have
look
to
for
shut
it
a
too.
whole precinct, that is
Yeah,
bad. That's
yeah.
corruption. That's corruption. That's
Hmm.
what that is.
Like I
Yeah,
said,
man, that's wild.
but yeah, it's about. I've held you
Oh wow.
hostage on my podcast for almost 3 hours.
Oh shit. It's all right, dude. I didn't even notice. It's
I'll
all
release.
good. I've been having a good time, man. I've been having a great time. Honestly,
Yeah,
it's been
same here,
good,
man. I mean, I would definitely love to have you back. I mean,
dude. Anytime, anytime. Let me know.
yeah, and like I said, we're gonna help each other out, man. We're gonna make this work.
Yeah, for
Um,
sure, for sure.
but yeah, but before you leave, man, I mean, just drop the information, let everybody know where they can find you, and all the other stuff we're talking about.
Well, you can always find me on Instagram. That's where I'm mostly active. Grid_TX. Same thing for my YouTube channel. Like I said, we have a podcast. It's called Triumph in the Shadows right now. It will be changed later on to a little Unhinged podcast. I always have a link in my bio on Instagram for everything, so you can always check it out there. Make sure if you're looking for a plate carrier, check out Bolo Defense plate carriers. Use code GridTX for 10% off. There's some pretty cool guys out of Texas from there, and yeah, that's pretty much it, man. I don't have anything else crazy.
Yeah, I noticed you had 26 followers, man. We're gonna see if we get that increase. So on your YouTube. So yeah,
Oh, do I? Wow, I didn't
yeah,
even know I had that many.
man.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I haven't even looked at it. I'll randomly throw stuff on there and be like, all right, yeah, I need to start. I need to start working on it, man. You're gonna have to get on to me. Be like, hey, dude, hey,
Yeah, no doubt,
you ain't
man. I
made no
mean,
videos. What the fuck?
yeah,
Just get on
no,
my ass,
no
dude. It's
doubt,
all right.
man. Because I mean, if anything, one of the goals I want to achieve is like just I want to be able to create a network of content creators. And eventually, if you look up, we could probably do something like Warrior Poet Society did. They just got away from YouTube and everybody else and just got their own channel and everything.
Bro, ideally, just away from YouTube. That's the best. That's the
Yeah,
best.
but it's gonna take time and
Always.
effort.
Yes,
Yeah,
sir. Always hard work. That's what it takes, bro.
yeah, man. We'll make it work.
Yes, sir.
Shoot, gonna take care of yourself, man. I really appreciate it. Like I said, we gotta do this again. This was great.
Absolutely, dude. I've had a great time, man. It's a good time talking to you, man. You're a
Thank you.
fucking stand up dude, man. I always enjoy our conversations on Instagram, but it's great talking to you in person. Well, kind of.
About as face to face this,
Yeah, face to face, face to face. Well, also kind of, but yeah. But all right, man. I appreciate it.
Hey, thank you. I'm honored to have you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You have a great one.
You too. Be safe.
Yes, sir, bro.
This the Black Powder Podcast, let's get explicit. We got the wisdom hitting targets with a marksman precision. We're having fun in the booth, we're running gun for the truth. Every future black